You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Ian Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, it's AFTERBUZZ TV's Californication After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Californication After Show.
Welcome, everybody. Bing is for doing. We're here doing Californication, Season 6, Episode 4, Hell Bent for Leather.
Hell bent.
Woo. And no, we are not wearing leather, but Krisily, you should. You're a motorhead.
Yeah.
I got.
Look at that.
Okay, we do have some leather going
I
on.
got my leather, my studs.
All right.
I represent for Double D.
Jump into some Judas Priest laden episode.
Yes. I am your host, Phil Svitek, joined alongside Stephen Lemieux and Krisily Kennedy. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Howdy.
Overall thoughts. Good episode. I enjoyed it.
A lot happened. I mean, it had a lot in it.
Thank you.
I really like to reiterate that a lot went down.
Krisily, what about for you?
It was a good episode. I feel like all of a sudden Hank's just not in rehab. That kind of threw me for a loop. I feel like I missed an episode, and I know I didn't. I may have missed watching with you guys, but I didn't miss one in real life. So I felt like I missed a little bit. And holy sex-heavy episode. It's been kind of calm and
what's
normal.
weird?
It's totally sex-heavy episode tonight.
Shameless and Californication both decide, you know what, episode 4 is going to be the sex episode because I have seen so much sex tonight between the two shows tonight.
It was pretty heavy tonight.
If I didn't have anybody to watch with, I would have jerked off.
Well said.
Awkward moment. Awkward moment after buzzers.
All right, let's get to, well, speaking of their terrible transition.
Terrible.
Speaking of
Jerking off, let's go into some
women because they hate guys apparently. All right, let me get your take on this, Krisily. Obviously,
After you both just said that, now you want my opinion? Really?
Well, we don't really want your opinion. We're just being courteous, but
Quiet from this one. Go ahead with your question.
no, because here's the thing. For me, with Karen and Marcy, obviously they have such a resentment towards the guys, rightfully so, and especially for Karen because she just saw Hank fail rehab for all intents and purposes.
I'd say more of like a D-. You know, he passed. A little bit.
I don't think he passed.
Not only did he fail miserably, she found him on drugs next to a orgy of naked people, and he couldn't even finish his sentence.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just like he's not in rehab anymore. He messed up huge. Not that he shouldn't, because that's what Hank does.
But I like I mean, they're in some ways forming a cult. They have this book club, and now this lady has, quote, the answer, and whoa.
Karen's not drinking the Kool-Aid as much. Marcy's drinking Ophelia's Kool-Aid like she's addicted. Ophelia the man-hater.
But ironically, Marcy's drinking it, but she's the worst believer out of all of them.
Oh, well, yeah, because as soon as the ex comes back with some money and some pot, she's going to fall in again.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the irony. So I feel like, in that situation, I would side with Karen. Like, be a little bit cautious of the no-cock rule.
Speaking of the girls and their, since when is Marcy a waxer?
What do you mean? She's
Always.
Why do I not remember that?
Because that's been the whole storyline for years. Remember Daisy?
She hasn't done that in how long?
No, she has.
Forever.
We just saw it recently where her.
I don't remember that. At all.
That's how Stu got her, because he made an appointment.
Yeah, and pitched her a reality show.
I so don't remember that.
What was the reality show called?
That?
What was the reality show called? Do you remember?
I don't know. Waxing vaginas?
Something like Wax of the Stars.
Really?
Anyway, I totally like.
This has
I
been
literally was. I wrote it down.
4 seasons. This has been a through line at least.
And I've watched since the first. I don't know why I don't remember seeing that. I don't know. I guess that was something I let go of.
Oh.
I mean, maybe
Let
you're
go
just a
of it.
pro-feminist and are like, you know what? Enough with the taking of the hair.
Really?
That's the only conclusion I can come to.
I don't know why I totally forgot that she
I'm
was.
trying to give the fans an excuse as to why not to hate you right now.
I know. I don't know why I didn't. Yeah. I literally
You're
wrote that
watching
down
too much
'cause I did not
Bachelor.
remember.
Krisily hosts
Might be the
Bachelor here at
reality
AFTERBUZZ TV, which is, for those of you listening, it's the perfect time to tell you to rate and comment on iTunes. And let us know all the things we have forgotten about Californication. But, all right, so back to the story at hand. I don't know, first off, I mean, I'm not completely in love with the storyline.
With
Ophelia?
Marcy and Ophelia?
Yeah.
Well, at least they gave you more on Ophelia, because before it was just like the small meeting we had where it was talking about hating guys and stuff. But now at least we have the meeting between just Marcy and Ophelia before we get into Karen, Marcy, and Ophelia. So we know that she's a little bit crazy, more crazy than what she thought we were before we go into the whole dinner scene where Karen's just going like this, like terrible embarrassment.
It makes you hate Ophelia more. Like,
Yes.
not only does she not like men, I mean, she's like a man hater, but just like she's left alone with her first edition and her hummus. Like, that just makes her creepy. That doesn't make her smart. That doesn't make her feminist. That just makes her creepy.
It makes her a sad person, and that's right about then where I decided $5 says Hank fucks her by the end of the season.
Wow, with the language.
Well, we are an explicit pod. I mean, it's
I know.
California.
We saw enough man ass in this episode to say fuck a few times, all right?
All right, you've used up your quota.
I have.
I mean,
You know what? It's actually, you bring up a good point though, Stephen. It's at the very least, it's making Karen realize that, you know what, this is not the answer. You know, like just because she's had a slew of bad guys, that doesn't mean there's no guy out there for her. And you know, it's still ultimately, for better or worse, Hank is your one.
of course.
So
It always
your
goes back
soulmate.
to them. My favorite line of the whole episode, which I know we haven't gotten to all that part, but my favorite line of the whole episode is that he said that they were heroes of bad timing. I like
Oh, yeah.
because it's so true, and it's so their story, and it's, I mean, they are heroes of bad timing.
That they
The
certainly.
one thing that I did love about Ophelia tonight, though, I will say, is when the girls were all at dinner, and she said about the princess myth, because I'm such a firm believer in that in some ways. So that was the only thing that kind of made me feel a little bit for Ophelia, was the princess myth. Like, so many girls are constantly looking for their knight in shining armor and that whole sad love story. And at the end of the day, like, sometimes you have to be a little bit more realistic with it. So that was the only thing that Ophelia had going for her tonight, was that. But
You didn't like the title of her book?
yeah, no,
Enemy, how men destroy their penis destroys your vagina.
it's just awkward. She's just awkward.
That's true. Where did I hear? Yeah, Shameless had a line about, you know, this guy. He was a sex addict, and he called the pussy destroyer.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
happens.
it's true. It's a term. I don't agree with the term, but you know, some guys think of their
But I
phallic symbol as a penis, as a vagina destroyer.
I think Marcy has found her niche in how to be poetic with her insults. I mean, the whole thing she went off on about the guys drinking with her. Oh, you're gonna buy us a drink then the morning after when we have our stank breath and we have our diarrhea.
But that's
and
just true. I mean, that's just true. I think, I wish every girl kind of said that to a guy at a bar. Like, a guy thinks nothing about picking up a girl at a bar with these drinks and tries to be smooth, but then real life hits in the morning, and are you still going to want to deal with them? I thought that was brilliant. Because she's so snarky, and she's not such a man-hater like Ophelia, where she's just like, I hate you, you're horrible. She was snarky and fun, and it was like almost enjoyable to watch her kind of go through that little moment.
It was. I agree. All right. The exact opposite of this storyline. Well, Runkle hates cock too, so it's not the exact opposite.
I guess.
Out to in.
Here's what I love. Like, this show never fails. You know, I feel there's already enough comedy, but if if you had to cut all that comedy, they always know at the end of the day, Runkle will bring that side of it. That's why it's drama D.
His character's brilliant and always has been from season 1 to now, and it never changes. He's constantly like evolving into these crazier and crazier things. Like his character, and he's brilliant as an actor because you feel for him and you believe him, and then you think he's crazy, and then you love him, and then you want things to happen for him. Like it's a constant roller coaster with him. I love him.
My only pet peeve, I wanted to see this ride out a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, it just even from at the beginning of the day, he's like, this whole lifestyle's opened up my brain, or whatever he says, you know. And I love how he desperately tries to embrace everything except for the final act. You know.
Well, and what's funny is from the last episode when he's at the Abbey and they're at the bar and they're talking about the Grindr app, it was almost like you saw his wheels turn, and even him saying to Hank tonight, like they have it all figured out. It's not even that they have it all figured out being gay or straight. It was he couldn't believe how easy it was for them to have sex and hook up. That's what he meant by they have it all figured out. Like he admired the fact that they have an app on their phone that they open and can literally hook up with anyone that's blinking at that moment. And that's what he loved. And that's Runkle.
That is Runkle. And of course, you know, let's talk about the pitch meeting, because that was hysterical. It was going downhill
fast.
But you know, I give Robbie credit because he saved it.
He did save it, and I was laughing my freaking ass off at this scene, because this is where all the Judas Priest references like come into play. He walks in playing Hellbent for Leather on the boombox. He's wearing the studded leather jacket. He's wearing the hat. He's got the assless chaps, the jeans. That's Rob Halford in a nutshell. That was the epitome of the 80s with Judas Priest, and he is a gay icon because he was like the king of metal, who nobody really knew he was gay. Well, they all kind of knew, but nobody knew. But all his songs could go both ways. Mm-hmm. And then he came out, and it's funny because he kind of looks like Runkle in a way. So we have Runkle, and then we have Rob Halford, and then they bring it up again with British Steel, where he calls his cock British Steel. That was one of their best-selling albums they've ever had, and inside jokes that makes me laugh so hard all the time.
That's Tom Capinos for you. I mean, yeah, I mean, it was hysterical when he has Runkle bent over the desk, whipping him with the whatever horse whip.
They really pushed that for time too. Like you thought it'd be just a little thing, and then it's like going on, and Runkle's just so uncomfortable during it.
I kind of loved the way Hank made Allie feel completely uncomfortable at the beginning of the meeting before he came and saved the day. That's one of the things I appreciate about the show, and I appreciate about Hank the character. Like I love the way that he just says it. There's no bullshit. There's no sugarcoating. It's just, this is how I feel. Deal with it. Like I love that about him. It's my favorite parts.
I love that too, but it's also in many ways it's that attitude that's kind of ruined his, you know, certainly his career.
His
but
self-saboteur.
That's why we keep watching.
That's why, but it's also ruined his relationships for that very reason, because he can't just, you know, sometimes you have to bite the bullet and not be that way.
It always comes back around for him. Like we've seen it it's a constant circle for him. It's a constant Ferris wheel that he gets off and then he gets back on. And then he gets off and then he gets back on. And I think that I think he always kind of comes out on top a little bit. He always gets his way anyway.
You think, but he still doesn't live the happy, peaceful life that he's always wanted to live.
No white picket fence.
But I don't think that's not what he really wants.
That's not what he really wants, no. But, you know, I don't think, as a human being, I don't think he's progressing. I mean, has he really grown?
I mean...
No, because he doesn't want to. He's very comfortable where he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he had all of the things that he thought he had ever wanted, and everything kind of came at him so fast that he... Let
me jump for a moment, right?
Yeah.
So bedroom scene, him and the woman, right?
Allie,
mm-hmm. Right? Yes. It's speaking of that merry-go-round, it's full circle now in this, right? You know, she basically could have made his career
first job ever,
mm-hmm. And then obviously that went downhill, and now he has another opportunity at this, and you know, the ball goes out of bounds, as they say.
Well, it was full circle. At the beginning, she wanted him, and he said no, and so she ruined him. And now she kind of wants him again, and now he's saying no again. But now it will hopefully benefit him instead of hurt him like it did the first time.
Well, of course, Hank didn't want to do the remake in the first place. Like the first, I've got an offer for you. Nope, I'm not taking it. And then finally they go out there and Hank sabotages Runkle. I mean, he sets him up for failure by telling the assistant, like, hey, he's straight. Go up after him and he'll shoot off faster than the cannon loaded with 6, whatever he said. And she does exactly that.
But I don't think he was trying to sabotage the project. I think he was just trying to get Runkle laid. I don't think that thought process was him, like,
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Hank is a good wingman.
Yeah, he was just trying to get Runkle laid because that's all they do is get each other laid. I don't think the thought process went as far as I'm going to ruin the project because I think he knew he was going to ruin the project himself because I think his motives were completely to have sex with her and then tell her, I still don't want to do business with you. But
yeah, that's true.
like he just wanted to screw her, literally.
Yeah, I mean, so the Runkle's girl. Did she always want to?
Assistant.
Yeah. Did she always want to suck his dick, as she says?
I don't know.
First of all, I've never heard a girl say that before.
I want a girl to say that.
Well,
Right?
You need to be on one of these episodes because I've never heard a girl walk into a guy's bedroom that she barely knows and say that. Number one. Number two, she was giving him weird, creepy, weird eyes in that original meeting. So.
Number 3, she was really hot.
And she did go through with the act, and she was, you know, very upset when Robbie came in the moment of truth.
Well, that's what she gets for using a diaphragm in 2012. 13. Sometimes I'm a year late. Sometimes I'm a day late. Happens.
Well, you know, again, I love. Well, so let's talk about the bedroom scene for Runkle. What did he scream with passion? I am so straight right now.
I am such a straight man right now.
Yes. And I love that they keep the continuity with his damn tramp stamp. His butterfly tramp stamp. Every time I see it, I laugh.
I think my favorite part about him pretending that he's gay or being gay for pay in this episode, in the last couple of episodes, is that it's like every single person he's come in contact has been like, well, we always knew.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, that's going to hurt him as a man a little bit.
It so does. And what I love is, you know, speaking of the diaphragm, you could just see the look on his face. Like, it's Runkle. He was ready to come right then and there. He just needed to insert it once.
Yeah, he would have been.
And that's why he was like, yeah, okay, go get the diaphragm. Go.
Give him some more time.
Was I the only one who kind of thought it was a setup before she was pissed off? Like, because after she blows him and leaves, I thought, like, she was trying to set him up to she leaves, then...
Yeah, but she was legitimately upset.
No, she
I know,
was
yeah,
going to the bathroom to put her diaphragm in.
I know, but before that...
Before that, did I think that perhaps?
Yeah.
I think I did a little bit. But I don't know. I think she really just wanted to suck his dick, to be honest. She said it, not me. Hey, come on.
So awkward.
It's kind of weird, though, because his career is... I mean, where is his career going to go? He just screwed over the gay mafia.
He just lied to them.
Well, he was getting promoted at the office because he signed this huge client who's now firing him. So now he's not going to get promoted. And he's gotten into so much trouble because of sex. I mean, what's he going to do next?
Well, he's got Hank, the golden boy who doesn't lay any eggs.
Yeah, right.
But he's going to start writing again.
Well, he needs a payday.
Yeah.
Eventually, yeah, I mean, it's just, a job's going to have to come. Poor Runkle. I mean, here's the thing. I don't think he was set up, and at least he got a kiss goodbye. That was nice.
It was.
It reminded me of
a moment.
like a mafia kiss of death, too, though.
Yeah.
Like, you grab him, you kiss him, and you're done. Like,
You know, here's the weird part, and I'm going to make it weird because it's probably weird. Had it have been Hank, I think he would have sucked the dick.
I can't believe
I don't think
Runkle didn't. I have to be honest.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I can't believe he didn't. I mean, we've already seen him with the tranny, so we already know that he doesn't mind. I'm surprised he didn't. I feel like Runkle would have done that.
I think he would have given him for his career, yeah.
You know, just
Or
like
taken him
lips
for his
perched
career.
or something like just a nice little peck.
I'm just surprised. I'm really surprised he didn't.
Yeah, I am.
Surprise, Californication writers.
But I mean, the takeaway from, again, I take what you will out of this, fans. I think he would have done it for Hank because at the very least, Hank is his true friend.
Okay.
You know, whereas like at the end of the day, this is just a client and, you know, just a money machine for him. And he's not willing to go that far.
And he's new. It's not like they have this huge, long relationship. He's just somebody that he's just signed that's kind of a cash cow. So I think you're right. I think if it was longevity, if it was somebody like Hank, he would do it.
Yeah.
Well,
take that with the spirit of which it is intended.
Well,
Yeah.
plus, what did he ask? He said, what is it going to do to our professional career together? I think it's going to make it hotter. It's like you suck his dick once, it's going to... You're gonna be doing a few more 100 times there, Runkle.
Yeah.
Not gonna go well with you.
But I mean, hey, you know, it's a good surprise though in Runkle.
Can we just throw out there when they walk into Fist, they have their meeting at Fist, and Hank walks up to the bar to get a drink, and it's Batesy,
That was
Doing
the
research.
bartender.
doing
Oh, I
research.
love it.
You know, hey, that's why Californication comes from. Again, I think they're always kind of setting these things up, and you never know when it's going to pay off. And obviously, that's going to have to come back somehow in the season.
Well, just to bring Becca into the episode without having his
That's
contact with Karen, or having any contact with Karen or anyone outside of just Runkle in this whole movie scene, to bring Bates as the guy at the bar and bring up the thing about Becca being there and bring it back to writing in the end. It kind of ties it all in the end without needing to diverge from the story that they're trying to focus on with Runkle and everything.
That's true. All right, so why don't we talk about Hank? You know, he was kind of a passive character in tonight's episode. You know, usually he's a lot more active, but nevertheless, a lot as we mentioned earlier happened. Let's talk about specifically him listening to Becca and her poem story.
It's just another way of his life coming full circle right now, because he was a writer, now Becca's a writer. Not only does she want to be a writer, but when he walks in, that's exactly what she's talking about, is how she was kind of born to be a writer, and that she says sooner or later the thing that wants you is going to tap you on the shoulder, and you just better be ready. And I mean, it just sets up her life and what she's gone through with her dad, and it was just another form of him seeing his life come full circle as her becoming that.
But let me answer this. Hank wants to be a writer, but cannot write. Becca does not want to write, but can write. What does that say?
I don't think Hank can't write. I just think that I think Hank's in his own way. Like, he's his own worst enemy when it comes to that stuff. Like, he puts his own blocks up. Because when he does write, he's talented, but he just...
Yeah, he can write his way out of anything. Like, I mean, you see with the movie last season, the girl comes into his trailer and wants some good stuff, and he gives her some really great lines and everything, and everyone's complimenting on that. But when he doesn't want to write anything, he just gives Runkle shit to
He
throw
makes
out.
excuses.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because he doesn't want to grow up. He has Peter Pan syndrome.
That is true.
But about the rehab thing, I mean, he's out of rehab from that. He took a bender out of rehab for the funeral and the after funeral party and everything, and it's kind of like that was a sobering moment of being wasted, if that makes any sense. Like him getting wasted through the funeral thing and what Faith says to him about some things you have to be there for and some things you have to take sober. I mean, that was his switch with getting wasted. He wakes up and then he's back to old Hank, not depressed over the death of what's her name anymore.
Yeah.
I think that quote that you're talking about that Maggie's character Faith says is sometimes you have to really feel something, even if it hurts so bad you want to pull your fucking skin off.
Yeah.
I tweeted that quote because I thought that was such a brilliant quote, and it's so true for so many things in life, and for somebody that is recovering, that's kind of a big statement for them. But I think that statement's going to set up what changes Hank makes out of rehab. And I thought it was really interesting that he talked about writing 2 times tonight. One was with Runkle, but he talked about writing about Faith, because Faith had guided him in some way or made him want to write. But then at the end, he tells Karen that he's going to put the reality on the pages for her. So it was I was a little confused by that.
And here, the scene with Karen, here's what I noted 2 things. A, that it was actually Karen completing his sentences, when usually he's the smooth talker, as we've been noting. And second, the headlight on his car is fixed. Mm-hmm. It's a change.
It is.
Ooh.
I think he's trying. I think that it wasn't necessarily rehab, but I think Faith has shown him and made him a little bit different. In what way, I don't know yet, and we haven't seen that yet. But there was definitely a change in him, and obviously he's gonna end up sleeping with her. Like, I think we all know that. But to see that moment when he was ready to leave and she got him to stay, that was a big moment for him as changing and becoming a different man. That was definitely a big moment. So yeah, they'll still sleep together, but there's something that we haven't seen yet that she's gonna have a big part in.
Okay, I agree. Stephen?
I can't comment. I'm just too jumble-brained right now. No, seriously,
I mean, I agree. Again, I don't know if I have too much more to say on Hank, just because I don't know, he was kind of passive, so I don't know how to judge him in this episode.
I'll say my.
Go ahead.
I'll say my favorite quote from the episode. "Don't rain on my gay parade. It's gonna rain buckets of smooth, creamy man cake batter on your gay parade."
That's true. Do you have a favorite quote, Krisily, since we're on that kind of subject? I didn't particularly write one down.
No, the only thing I wrote down was Becca's, was the born to be a writer, because she kind of backhandedly and is. She was, you know what I mean? It's what she kind of...
Well, the interesting part is Hank molded her that way.
Mm-hmm. But it's not what she wanted for herself, which I thought was a really interesting thing that she says. It's not what she ever wanted for herself or ever dreamed for herself. She had all these big dreams and things that she wanted, yet this is what ended up becoming what she does.
Well, she has so many experiences to go through from living with him as a father.
And he didn't want, the irony, he didn't want this for her either, and yet he set her up for it.
Pretty much.
And he's, I think he knew that she would be talented, but he was kind of blown away by that. And it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah. So speaking of that, why don't we get into predictions?
Sure.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
I always forget the previews. I don't even know what happened.
What is that? What is that musician's name? Where
Atticus Fetch.
Yeah, God, he drives me crazy.
Okay, so Atticus Fetch wants.
He needs Ritalin.
He wants a guitar.
He wants a guitar from our dead buddy.
So we're gonna have to see Faith again.
And go to the drug dealer, apparently.
Which is the kid from Lost.
Yeah.
All right, so we're connecting the dots.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not the same kid that Becca brought to rehab, right?
No.
No.
He's way fatter.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
No offense.
No, I remembered they looked similar though.
No. That kid was, yeah. He was just a symbol of Becca's.
Becoming her father?
Yes. In a nice way, of course.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously that'll kind of be the through line, Marcy and you know, her mission, as we say. That'll get challenged because we saw Stu's face. I love when we see Stu. I really like him as an actor and a character. I think that'll be great. Apart from that, I'm curious to see what this means for Runkle now that he's not a gay agent.
Yeah, I mean, his career will never end. He'll always have Hank, but it'll be interesting to see.
His career's not great with Hank. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Hank, like, you know, I mean, your client's got to work. Hank's not really a worker.
Well, he gets offers.
That's
I
great.
always stick up for Hank.
Well, Hank's got to grow up.
He does. He does have to grow up, but.
So does Runkle not have any other clients? Because I thought like Apocalypse Samurai was another of Runkle's clients and things like that.
Well, it's just
As
that.
is Becca's ex-boyfriend.
Exactly.
Well, here's the problem. Again, Runkle's status in this company will just continue to go down.
Down, right.
You know, I mean, as you made a good point, Krisily. Like, sex has just ruined this man's career. So on that lovely note,
As it does many people in Hollywood.
hey, there you go. Follow us here at AfterBuzz TV. You know, for a continued conversation off air, but online, I say.
Yes.
And you can follow Krisily at.
Krisily.
And that's that's on Twitter. And what about Instagram? Do you have
Same
Instagram?
thing.
So there you go. Look at
Keep
that.
it simple.
That's right. What about you, Stephen Lemieux?
You can follow me at Stephen Lemieux or on, I forgot what my Instagram is. You're good.
Or check out, if you guys are in LA or want to come to LA just to get headshots, call Stephen.
Yeah, srlemieuxphoto.com.
So there you go. Thank you guys for listening. It's been a fun episode. See you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.